Netflix's latest true crime docuseries MH370, The Plane That Disappeared, investigates what director Louise Malkinson calls the greatest aviation mystery of all time, the 2014 disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. Out today on the streaming service, the three-part series delves into the baffling mystery of the missing plane, and the infuriating lack of answers about what happened to it. On March 8, 2014, the Boeing 777 jet carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew members vanished from radar screens shortly after it took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia. It was bound for Beijing, China, but never reached its intended destination. Nine years later, the whereabouts of MH370 and its passengers is still unknown. We know where people are because of their phones, we know where people are because of satellites and radar. This is a huge jetliner. The idea that this could just vanish, it's almost incomprehensible, Malkinson told MovieMaker ahead of the docuseries premiere on Wednesday. To be this far down the line and still have no plane and still know so little, and for the people that lost people on that flight have no answers, and to be clear, Malkinson doesn't know what happened to the plane, because as the docuseries explains, that's still a mystery, but she can provide insight into why these questions have gone unanswered for so long. Also read, 9 eye-opening documentaries on Netflix that aren't about murder. Why did the passengers' cell phones continue to ring? It was fantastic for us to be able to speak to Jiang Hui, who sadly lost his mother on the flight, and to get those intimate details of what was happening inside those HOT. One of the questions always was, would the phone ring had the plane blown up or was at the bottom of the sea? Would the phone still ring? And I think that's one of those questions that people constantly ask. As they say, they pushed to try and get more answers as to why the phones were tracked or to ask about that. But as the docuseries says, they were just given the answer that they didn't have the technology to trace them in that way. What about the Tomnod photos that showed a potential debris field in the South China Sea? Tomnod was a really interesting element to the search for MH370. It was a crowdsourcing platform, which meant that anybody from their home office or work computer could log on and be part of the search for MH370.